everyone, and welcome to the January Park and Rec Commission meeting, first one of 2020. We've got a few new members this year, so I think we'll start with going around the room and introducing ourselves. We'll start with Director Schmitz.
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk. My name is Tom Schmitz. I'm the Park and Recreation Director, now over 14 and a half years with the city. And I'll share one brief thought I have about our system, and that is I like our system a lot because there's some things in it for all citizens and all residents and all visitors. It's a very wide, diverse system, and there's no one that can't find something to enjoy in our system. Leroy.
I'm Leroy Floor. I've been on this is my second go-around on the commission. I kind of always wanted to get on, and all of a sudden I got on, and I enjoy it now because I'm learning a lot more about what goes on in town.
Hello, I'm Bob Skillings, and I'm in my second year being on the Park and Rec Commission. I was on the Park and Rec Commission way back in the 90s. I'm excited about the renew projects that are happening.
I'm Chris Vorwerk. I'm the chairman of the Park and Rec Commission. I think I've been on for 5 years or something. I work for 3M, and kind of to echo what Tom said, I have children of all various ages, and they can all find things that they can do.
I'm Melanie Griebel. I have 6 kids. I have been on the Park and Rec Commission for a while. I don't know exactly how long. We absolutely love the variety of parks that we have and the great upkeep.
Hi, I'm Carissa Bugler. I'm brand new. First meeting. Thank you for support from the city, and excited to serve in this way. I was born and raised here in New Ulm, and I married, have 2 boys, and our entire family partake in many different programs. We utilize the facilities. In fact, I spend a lot of time at the hockey arena. But I'm most grateful for the Park and Rec for the impact that it has on the citizens' health, of improving health, improving social connectivity, and finding many different ways for our community to interact and make healthy choices and make it fun. So I'm grateful to serve.
Dave Christian, I'm the Ward 1 City Councilor, also the Councilor Rep for the Park and Rec Department. This is my 4th year, Tom? I think it's my 4th year starting. A comment I like about the Park and Rec, born and raised in New Ulm, only gone during the military, there is something for everybody in New Ulm. If you're 2 years old to 70, there's something to do. If people say there isn't with our Park and Rec system, I disagree with them, because there is something to do.
Hi, I'm Bev Lunenberg, and this is my first time on the commission, and I'm happy to join. I'm very interested in Park and Rec. I've had kids, my own kids that are grown and gone, participate in many activities, and now I have grandkids, and I'm very proud of New Ulm and the park recreation program that we have here.
I'm Jim Bass, in the second year on the Park and Rec. I really like the Renew project that's going on, and also really like the ice arena with the New Ulm steel, so you're kind of playing hockey out there. Great facility.
All right, thank you, everyone, and welcome to our new members. All right, we'll move on to, you should have got the agenda in your packets earlier. And look it over, and like a motion.
To approve the agenda,
Yeah,
I'll make
yep,
that.
yep.
I'll make that a motion.
I'll second it.
All right, there's been a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Just press on that, and the minutes will come up. And then it goes to the next topic.
Next up on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Those are also in the packet,
Yes.
and everyone should have had a chance to read over them. Is there any changes or additions, or otherwise a motion to approve them?
So move.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the minutes from last meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Park and Rec activity report, department activity report. That was in the packet, and we will file that. Everyone hopefully had a chance to look at it. And then we will go to City Council meeting recap. Director Schmitz?
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and members. There have been 2 city council meetings since our last commission meeting, which is quite normal. The December 17th city council meeting saw them adopt the 2020 budget, also accept the donations that you recommended they accept, and they declared their annual declaration for community events. And then the January 7th regular city council meeting saw them make their annual appointments, city councilors and citizens to the various committees and commissions, including our 2 new members here at the Park and Rec Commission. And they also approved the AFSCME union contract for the next 2 years. Our maintenance workers and custodians are in the AFSCME union. We have 5 of each. And then they authorized the annual fleet equipment purchases for 2020 of new trucks and mowers and so on for all the various departments. So that is the activity over the past month from the City Council related to Park and Rec.
Thank you, Director Schmitz. Are there any questions? Otherwise, we will move on to our old business. Renew update, Director Schmitz.
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and members. The Renew update includes the fact that Johnson Park is over 80% complete. The general contractor Web Construction continues working there over the winter, finishing up a number of miscellaneous aspects of the project, and then there will be some final completion in the spring once winter passes and spring warms up the environment. But on schedule for completion early this year, well ahead of the double state baseball tournament that's coming at Johnson and Miller Parks the last 3 weekends of summer. The last 2 weekends in August and then Labor Day weekend. Class B and Class C state baseball amateur tournaments. Herman Heights, we're putting the finishing touches on the design and the construction documents, and we'll be going to the Renew Oversight Committee and City Council to bid that project out in February, so that there will be an opportunity for the council to make a decision late winter on whether or not they want to award the project. Remember, that includes the relocation of Monument Street off the crest of the hill further west, and then putting in the parking lots, a large central parking lot and then a smaller parking lot near the playground with full vehicular coach bus access also. So it'll be very nice, and remember, it's a pedestrian and motor vehicle and bicycle safety project to improve access into the Herman Heights Park. That's the Renew project. And then, of course, the retaining wall replacement project will be a bid out as a package with funding other than Renew dollars for the retaining wall project. So if the City Council awards the project late winter or spring, we would anticipate major construction up there during the entire summer construction season this year in 2020, with the possibility that the entire park and monument is closed for the year. So stay tuned on that, and we'll see how the bids come in and what City Council action is as far as awarding the project up at Herman Heights. Any questions about Johnson or Herman at this point? Next is the Recreation Center. Of course, the 4 projects there include the aquatics improvements, the indoor playground, the regional gymnastics center that will be leased to the gymnastic organization, and then a co-located fitness center to bring strength and cardio together in an expanded fitness center. We are still in kind of the final phases of design there, and we plan on that coming to the Renew Oversight Committee within weeks, and to the City Council, the first meeting in February, to approve the design and then order construction documents with the scheduled plan for bidding and bid opening in the spring, late winter, spring, and with a scheduled groundbreaking in the spring, early summer. So any questions about any of the Renew projects? I think we all remember that the 7th of the 7 Renew projects, the Dome, was canceled due to a lack of funding.
One item, as long as it's on the renew project and whatnot, for my own curiosity, and the question's gonna come up, Tom probably knows why, what's the Park and Rec's feeling if we can save a lot of money where that facility would actually have to be closed for a while? Something to think about. It's a lot of money we could possibly save if that thing was closed. Up to what, 6 months, Tom, or was it more than that?
Well, actually, Councilor Christian, Chair Vorwerk, and members, what Councilor Christian's referring to is the fact that we were initially thinking that we would keep the swimming pool open, the existing swimming pool, while we construct the new aquatic center. You know, we're not doing any work in the field house, so the field house has always been planned to remain open. But our construction management team is starting to think that we can save significant dollars by, you know, closing the entire south half of the campus there, which includes the swimming pool, so that there would be construction of everything going on at once, all four of those components and elements. It would unfortunately mean the loss of aquatic facilities for a number of months. That's kind of the question I think that Councilor Christian was raising, that, you know, a contractor's coming in to kind of do everything at once is going to save significant dollars, as opposed to having them, you know, do pieces at a time over a longer period of time. So that is something that's going to be discussed with the Oversight Committee and the City Council also. I don't know if anyone's got any comments or questions about that. We would still keep the field house open, the racquetball courts open, the cardio center open, but the central and southern portion of that facility could be closed for 6 to 9 to 10 months of
I
construction.
was going on the light side, 6 months, maybe 6 to 9.
Yes,
But again, it's a significant amount of money,
of savings.
a lot of money.
Can I ask, when it was bid and when it was, when the project was approved and it was in there to have it open, to have the swimming pool open until the new one was open and ready for the public, that it, I mean, was it pitched to us then and we had decided to keep it open? Or when was that decision made that?
Oh, no, it wasn't bid, it hasn't been bid yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
because
that's-
but
This is
we-
just something that came up
we've
from the
heard-
architect engineer. Here's a
Got
way
it.
to save some significant money.
I thought we had heard of how much the project was gonna cost or how much was gonna be put into the project, the budget.
Well, 9.5 was authorized and we're short.
Got it.
So initially, we thought we would be able to keep the swimming pool open during the construction of the new aquatic center. We still don't know yet how this is going to shake
Okay.
out. But this is a new concept that we recently have been discussing with the construction management team, that you know, closing the entire central and southern
Right.
portion of the building would be cost effective from a construction standpoint.
Right. And will it be, this commission to vote on that, or will it be the oversight committee?
It'll ultimately be the city council's decision.
City council.
And the oversight committee would make a recommendation to forward on to the city council on that.
Okay.
Depending upon timing, you know, the Park and Rec Commission is certainly informed and can present a recommendation also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Director Schmitz, is it being assessed of whether or not the programming that would take place in that square footage of during construction could be potentially held elsewhere in another city facility? Would that be part of the discussion, not just from a financial standpoint, but from a how do we keep the operations?
Yes, yes. Commissioner Bugler, Chair Vorwerk, and members. You know, the fitness components and fitness aspects would be taking place elsewhere in municipal facilities or other facilities. The only programmatic element that the community doesn't have as a backup is another swimming pool or aquatic center. So we would be partnering with adjacent communities on providing programming for that, whether it's swim lessons or lap swimming or open swim or the aqua aerobics classes. We would be promoting and partnering with Lake Crystal and Mankato YMCA and the other Mankato swimming pools during the spring, autumn, and winter. We'll see how the whole schedule plays out. In the summertime, we've got a plethora of aquatic facilities within the region. But in the winter, it's just Lake Crystal and Mankato and St. Peter. Great questions and food for thought.
I just wanted to make the Park and Rec aware, not that all of a sudden you heard council in February talking about this and you're all blindsided like nobody told us that. But I'm positive it's going to come up.
Any other questions at all about Renew?
My question is, with the gymnastic program being part of Turner, how are they going to decide who gets paid and?
That's a great question. There are 3 gymnastics organizations in town, or have been in the past. Turner Gymnastics, the New Ulm, New Aga, the association, the Gymnastics Academy, the association, and then thirdly, District 88, School District 88, the State High School League Gymnastics competitive program. So what has recently happened is the association and Turner have merged onto a single organization now called TGA, Turner Gymnastics Academy. That is the organization that's going to be leasing the facility from the city. And we've been discussing a monthly lease fee of $5,000. And then the District 88 and the school program will be able to use the facility or sublease the facility from TGA during the high school season. So, the 2 year-round organizations have merged, and the seasonal organization with this high school will also be using the facility. So they're all going to be using the facility, really kind of be a regional gymnastics facility, big enough for them to host large meets and even
Are the
section
teams going to
finals.
be combined, the 3 going to be combined into one team?
Well, the association and Turner have merged, and so they're going to organize their programs and their age groups, however they have in the past, I think. And the school district is still an independent,
Separate.
competitive
Okay.
program, State High School League seasonal program.
Okay, thank you. A lot of good discussion there. Let's go on to German Park Amphitheater update.
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and members. I'm going to now move up to the podium and try to play a 3-minute video about the project that New Cat has just recently helped with producing. This will be going live to the world this week, explaining kind of where we're at and how individuals and organizations can partner with it. Let's make sure the volume's loud enough, please. Hello, my name's Tom with the New Ulm Park and Recreation Department. New Ulm dates back to the 1850s. German Park was platted and designated in New Ulm's original plat. It is New Ulm's central park and is located downtown. Performing arts has always been a major activity in German Park. The park hosts numerous concerts and special events annually. The park went through a major redevelopment in the 1990s, funded by the city and many local donors. The redevelopment included new restrooms, bandstand restoration, pavilion replacements, formal flower garden, angel fountain and pergola, parking lot, grand staircase from German Street, and an accessible trail through the Schwarzwald Black Forest on the south side of the park, and the newly replaced Kinder Castle at the north end of the park. Unfortunately, funding ran out, and the Outdoor Performing Arts Center Amphitheater was not constructed. This embankment is the location for the planned new accessible Outdoor Performing Arts Center Amphitheater. In 2012, the Friends of German Park donated $5,000 to the city to commission Bolton and Mink Incorporated to prepare a conceptual plan and feasibility report, depicted here. Since then, the City Council has adopted the report, authorized fundraising, and recently approved the plans, specification, and bidding process. The bids were opened in late August, and the City Council awarded the project to a general contractor on September 3rd. The total project cost is over $1.2 million, and over $800,000 has already been raised. The construction will be this year, spring and summer of 2020, with a grand opening in early August. Donor names will be inscribed at the amphitheater, and naming rights will also be considered for the largest donor. New Ulm has numerous indoor performing arts venues, but not a single outdoor performing arts venue. Uses of this outdoor performing arts amphitheater include summer concert series, numerous theatrical performances, movies in the park, community events such as National Night Out, weddings, receptions, corporate events, and other private activities. Donations of all sizes, large and small, are greatly appreciated and should be directed to the Park and Recreation Department, checks made out to the City of New Ulm Amphitheater, and delivered to 122 South Garden Street, New Ulm, Minnesota 56073, or brought into the Recreation Center, Vogel Fieldhouse facility. Thank you so very much. Okay, so that's the video that New Cat produced for us, and we'll be putting out on the, it'll be on the city website and other locations, Facebook linked and so on. So any questions about that project? It's going to be constructed this summer. You know, all the elements of the project have been authorized by the City Council except for the shade structure. I think you saw that in the video. We would need an additional $166,000 in authorization to include the shade structure. And at some point in the next month or so, we'll be talking about that, you know, at the commission and with the City Council. The $1.2 million total figure includes design fees and contingency fees or contingency estimates and so on. We are down to about $380,000 yet to go to the $1.2 million. But to include that shade structure, we only need $166,000 in additional authorization from the City Council. So we will be continuing to discuss that and forward that in the next month or two. And any questions at all?
Director Schmitz, just for my learning, is there a committee who's actively out raising funds? I've seen signage in the community and other things, but is there a volunteer group who's?
Great question. You know, the Friends of German Park have been behind the redevelopment and development of German Park for decades. You know, right now the two main leaders in that group are Dr. Ann Vogel and Denny Warda. Those two and myself are kind of the three fundraisers that are working diligently on that. And we're optimistic that it's going to come together from a financial perspective. You know, the other key aspect of this project is it's a performing arts center. It's not just a musical venue. We fully expect State Street Theater, the Grand Center for Arts and Culture, the schools, and other organizations to have musical performances, but also theatrical performances down there in the spring, summer, and autumn. And also it will be, I think it's probably going to become more of a destination wedding location. You know, the weddings have taken place in the formal flower gardens and the open pavilion, and this will provide an opportunity to have, you know, a pretty grand amphitheater area for seating, comfortable, accessible seating for over 500 people.
Thank you, Director Schmitz. All right, now we'll move on to new business. Director Schmitz, can you take us through donations?
Certainly. Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and members. I'll read into the record a list of donations offered to the city over the past month. All of these donations are cash, and this first group of 15 donations are all earmarked for the German Park Performing Arts Amphitheater. The first one is $200,000 in matching funds from an anonymous donor, $25,000 from the New Almeria Foundation, $500 from Florian and Rose Dietrich, $500 from Linda Marty, $300 from Patrick and Nicole Eckstein, $200 from Ann and Peter Cook, $108 from Mary and Topher Jacobson, $100 from Sharon Heck, $500 from Carl and Patricia Priest, $50 from Mary Hussman, $35 from Peter Hussman, $20 from Elizabeth, Peter, and Seth Garcia, $20 from David and Carol Hunneman, $20 from Elizabeth Huffman, $10 from Shannon Hunneman. Then we've got 2 paver stones for the German Park. And those are, the first $100 is honoring Ruben and Edna Pretz from Topher Jacobson. The next $100 is honoring Perry and Marion Galvin from Craig Galvin. Thomas and Catherine Vernig also. The next group of 2 separate $150 donations are going towards the Herman 5K Run Walk sponsorship that takes place in the autumn. $150 from Paul's Electric Incorporated and $150 from Nuvera. There was a $20 cash donation for the dog park from Argos Hunneman. At Riverside Park, the Environmental Learning Center programs, $3,500 from the Isaac Walton League. For the Riverside Park accessible ramp and deck accessibility project that will be constructed this year, $2,000 cash from the Isaac Walton League. For emerald ash borer removals of the tree disease that is now upon us, $1,000 from the Isaac Walton League. And finally, $750 from the Isaac Walton League to assist with buckthorn removals. So the grand total over this past month is $235,133 in cash. I recommend you forward this on to the City Council for their formal acceptance.
Thank you, Director Schmitz. Could I have a motion to accept these donations?
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion is second to recommend City Council accept these donations. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is staff reports. Director Schmitz.
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and members. As attachments in the packet this month, I put in the board, this is on page 8 of 31 in the PDF packet. It begins on page 8 of 31. The board's, committees, and commissions handbook, just as a reference with information about all the various boards, commissions, and committees in the city through our municipal government, along with roles and responsibilities and information about the various groups and bodies. So that is a multi-page document.
One question for you, Tom. The 2 new commissioners, I can't get mine to open. Can anybody else?
No. I got it.
I mean, just for their
The cover
looking at
page.
it. Can't,
It goes,
cover page and that's it.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll be making sure that it gets sent out to all the commissioners. You bet.
The handbook?
The handbook, yes.
I can open it.
And then further down beyond that, there is a single-page document, which is the organization chart, the org chart of the department. which was in the packet also, and that is page 30 of 31. And again, if that's not coming up for you, let me know, and I will email it directly to all commissioners. It just simply shows the org chart with the city council and the mayor up at the top, and then city manager and so on, and then the Park and Recreation Department, along with our the commission, director, assistant director, program staff, maintenance staff, fitness and aquatic staff, and so on. And then the last page of the 31-page packet is just kind of my monthly staff updates. I really have nothing special to add that's not already in written format here in the packet. We're very excited, thanks to donor Barbara Haroldson funding the splash pad in North Park. We will be opening that up when things warm in the spring. I think it's going to be very exciting for our community, and you're really all ages. The 40-year-old boiler replacement project at the Recreation Center is complete and saving us much energy with a very much more efficient boiler system that heats the air and the water in the entire building. Now that we have some cold weather, we've got outdoor ice skating at Harmon Park. So the maintenance staff has been working hard at flooding the rinks at Harmon Park, and there are skate rentals available in the Harmon Park shelter, along with hot cocoa, I think, and snacks. But do enjoy that facility while it lasts, because winter will be gone before we know it, and the outdoor ice will melt. That's it for my staff reports. Maybe one more I'd like to mention in the group of in progress and that is the accessibility project at Riverside Park, where we've been talking about that for decades, and we're very excited to have the city council authorize that and include that in the 2020 budget. So we will have an accessible ramp coming up the New Ulm north side of the building from the front steps, which is the playground side of the Environmental Learning Center building, the former Franklin School, and then going along the rear, the riverside, the New Ulm east side of the building, there will be a large deck, an event space for both public and private events, and an outdoor learning space. In the Environmental Learning Center will, I'm sure, have outdoor educational classes there also on that deck. End of my report for this month, Chair and Commissioners.
Thank you, Director Schmitz. Any questions for him?
I do have a question.
Yes.
So the learning center down there, is that totally funded with city funds as far as the accessibility and the deck?
Yes, it is. And the Isaac Walton League, as you see in this month's packet, did donate $2,000 towards the project. So we are actually continuing to look for other funding. And if other funding comes in, that would reduce the amount of funding that needs to come out of the municipal, the city funding sources. So, the building is leased to Ron Bolden, who offers all the programming. He's not a city employee, and the city doesn't pay for that programming. The city pays for the utility bill in the building year-round, and offers it as a lease with no fee, similar to the Kiesling House, where now the Brown County Historical Society has the lease at the Kiesling House to operate the programming.
A little bit of history behind that for Commissioner Skillings. This is the last ADA project in our 15-year goal, Tom?
Yes.
This was the last building. 15 years ago, we assessed all of our buildings, started the process. It cost a lot of money, and this is the last one to get ADA accessible. That all of our buildings should be ADA compliant.
Thank you. I have another question about the donations. It says 200,000 in matching funds from an anonymous donor. How is that defined?
That is defined that when that there was a pledge, that pledge came in over a month ago. And so from that date forward, all the donations that are coming into the project from that date forward are being matched by this $200,000.
So to get a full 200,000 from the anonymous donor, we need to have 200 more thousand.
from the date of the pledge, which was over a month ago. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you. We'll go to commissioner reports. Does anyone have any? I'd assume no. That puts us, our next meeting will be February 10th, and there be no further business. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.